You can boil them, mash them, bake them, fry them, turn them into my favourite of all, the chippy. Potatoes are just amazing to grow. They're so environmentally friendly. They require hardly any fertiliser to thrive in your garden. Today we're going to look at how to grow potatoes in 3 stages with 3 sets of different brothers. We'll start off first of all with Will and James, and they're going to get us planting. Then we move on to Tim, Jordan and Asher, who take us to the next level. And finally we'll finish with Will and Sam. They're my boys and they harvested potatoes many years ago. So boys, to grow potatoes in your patch at home, you're going to need some tyres or some kind of an expandable container like a veggie bag. Ah, here's Paul. You never know where he pops up. And look, this is an expandable container, so it gives you the opportunity to grow as your veggies grow. Thanks, Paul. Grab some sugarcane mulch and some potting mix. You'll probably need some cow manure. It does stink. Then you might like to dig them in with some little trowels. And what are we going to dig in? Will, show them what you've got there. These are some seed potatoes. Now you'll buy those at places like Bunnings or your local nursery, and they are certified to make sure that they do grow. You could also try finding in your pantry maybe some potatoes that have sprouted, but they're generally not as reliable. And finally, let's water them in. So that should be a great list of things that you require to plant up your potatoes. Gather up your tyres and give them a good clean. Find a sunny spot in your garden, and if it's on concrete, you might like to add some extra rocks to assist with drainage. Wear your gloves and masks because we're using potting mix. Start by adding a generous layer of straw or sugarcane mulch. Then add some composted animal manures. Make sure you push it well into the sides of the tyre, as this is where the tubers love to grow. Then a nice layer of potting mix. Just keep repeating these layers until you get just below the top inside edge of the tyre.
Here you go. Thank you.
Then grab your seed potatoes and plant them evenly around the tyre. About 4 should be a good amount. Just make sure that you plant them with the shoots or the eyes pointing upwards. Cover them over with a little bit of the manure mix, and then we'll add our last bedding of straw. Potatoes love to be kept in the dark. And finally, give them a nice big drink of water. And a big thanks today to our first set of brothers, James and Will.
Bye.
In about a month or so, you will start to see these tender little green shoots emerge. When they get to be around 20 centimetres high, it's time to add the second tyre. Gently place the second tyre on top of the bottom one, being careful not to disturb the leaves. Gently pull back the leaves and add layers and layers of the sugarcane mulch, compost and potting mix until the leaves are fully covered, and give it another nice big drink of water.
Then in another few weeks, you will repeat the process and add a third tyre. Earthed Up to Perfection by the Bulchan Brothers. At around the 2-month mark, little white flowers will occur. They look a bit like the tomato flower. That's because tomatoes and potatoes are in the same family. Then the leaves will begin to die down, and that's a sure sign that you are ready to begin your harvest. That'll take about 70 to 100 days from when you first planted. Simply lift the tyres off and pick up your potato crop from amongst the soil mix. You can add the soil back into your garden. You'll be amazed at how many times your initial 4 potatoes have multiplied. Wash them off, and then it's time to boil, mash, roast or fry them up for dinner. And finally, a big thanks to Jordan, Timothy and Asher for inspiring this segment. Well done, boys.